Hello everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at a new desk fan or floor circulator. This is by a company called Iris, and this is the Woozoo Globe fan. Now I saw one of these at Costco a couple months ago and I was really impressed with it, and I decided that if I could find one at a good price I would go for it, because currently these are sold out at Costco. So far I've been really happy with it. What I like about it is that it's got a lot of nice features, but then the key thing is that it's just its function as a fan. It moves a lot of air, and it really moves a lot of air for such a compact little fan. It's got a nice blade design with deep pitched blades, and it pushes a lot of air. So even though I think this would work great on, just about any desk because it has a small footprint, this could also be set up in a room near an AC vent or just on the floor and be used as a whole room circulator. It's got a lot of options, so I'm going to show you how everything works on it. But so far I'm really impressed. It moves a lot of air, it's quiet, and I think it does what it sets out to do well. Of all the fans I own, I would say that the Wuzu compares the most to this Vornado Classic here. Now you can still buy this fan today, and it's an excellent product. And the reason I say they're comparable is because both of them have blades with a nice deep pitch to them, almost propeller style blades, and both of these move a ton of air for a fan of their size, especially for fans sold today. Because for years, a lot of fans were getting wimpier and wimpier, and as homes just adopted AC, and you could still get fans that move a lot of air, but compact fans like this, these move a ton of air for what they are, which is great. Now, they're kind of doing different things. This one, mechanically, it's a lot simpler. It can only move up and down. You have to do it manually. And it has a 3-speed switch on the back. That's it. The Wuzu, you can oscillate it in multiple directions. You can set a timer on it, which is nice. And it's got 5 speeds instead of 3. It's got extra quality of life features, and it also has the remote. The Vornado has been rock solid. Of all the newer fans of this size, this has been my favorite by far. But I think I'm gonna really like the Wuzu because just like the Vornado, it moves a lot of air for a machine of its size. The Wuzu is compact. It's about 8 inches wide and 12 inches tall. The whole kit weighs just over 4.5 pounds. The fan has a small but welcome carrying handle on the back of it to move it around. The power cord is a generous 6.5 feet long. The Wuzu's controls are intuitive, and you can control the fan from the base of the unit or from the handy remote. Finally, the fan is energy efficient and uses 0.6 amps of electricity. Running costs are low. Here's a look at the remote here. One thing I would prefer on this fan, because I don't think it has it, it'd be nice if there was some way to store the remote on the fan when it's not in use, but I don't think that's an option. And really you could just set it there when you're not using it, but admittedly that's something I do like on my Dyson fans, that the remote magnetically stores on top. And let's go ahead and just run through the controls. The controls on both the base of the fan and the remote are the same. You've got a power button. You can adjust the fan speed here, and there's 5 speeds. You have what's called a nature mode, which I have on another fan that I own, and it's kind of gimmicky, but it's cool. And then you can set a timer for up to 4 hours, 1, 2, or 4 hours, and you can control the oscillation. You can do left to right, up or down, or both at the same time. Now I'm going to turn it on, and I have a decibel reader next to it, so you get an idea of the noise level at different settings. On its lowest speed, it's nearly virtually silent. So there it is on its highest speed. It's not an ugly sound. You can definitely hear it, but it's not too bad. Go ahead and turn that down. And now we'll set the timer, and you can set it for 1, 2, or 4 hours. We'll set it for 4 hours. And now let's try the oscillation. And turn that off, and you can also oscillate it up and down. In the manual, they say that you can use this for air drying clothes, and what you could do is you could set the upward setting up at a good angle and have it dry the clothes on a drying rack. It actually worked really well. I've used another fan for that same feature for years. You can just lock it like that, but then you can also do both at the same time. And in that setting, you could set it up on the floor and it would just blow air all around the room. And on its highest speed, because it moves so much air, I do think set up on the floor, this actually would make a very good whole room circulator. It really does move a lot of air for a fan of its size. It's pretty impressive. And then the last thing is the nature mode. When you set the nature mode, it It will fluctuate the speed automatically, and it keeps it pretty quiet, but it adjusts it, and the whole idea is that it's supposed to mimic a gentle outdoor breeze. I have another fan that has the same feature, and the feature is kind of gimmicky, and I never use it because usually when I'm using a fan, I just have it set to whatever dedicated speed that I want, and I leave it that way. You know, all of this can be done at the remote or at the base of the machine. It's nice and quiet, and it does what it's supposed to do quite well. Okay, now I'll show you how much air this thing moves. So I've got the remote here, just gonna turn it on. Right now it's on its lowest speed. And it's pretty gentle. I can actually still feel it over here, but it's pretty gentle. Go ahead and turn it up. Speed 2. 3. 4. And 5. Set the oscillation. And we'll throw in the vertical oscillation as well. And then in this mode, it does do a good job just projecting air all over the room. According to the box, the Woozoo Globe can project air up to 82 feet. Unfortunately, my living room is only 81 feet long, so I couldn't accurately test their claim. I decided to measure out 11 feet from the fan to see if it would still spin the pinwheels from that distance. Eventually, I stopped the pinwheel to see if the fan would start it back up, and it did. Turn it down. So I like it. For a fan of this size, I'm really impressed. That blade design moves a lot of air for a little fan. When it's time to clean the dust out of the inside of the fan, here's how you remove the grill. There are 2 screws near the bottom that you first remove, and then 4 clips that unlock the front grill from the rest of the fan. It then easily pulls off. All fans will build up with dust on the inside over time, and it's good to periodically take off the grill and clean them. So one of the reasons this moves so much air, even though it's just a little plastic blade, you can see how deep the pitch of the blades is. So honestly, looking at it, it almost reminds me of a propeller. And don't try this at home. I'm going to turn it on. And it really does put out quite a bit of air. But taking this apart to clean this out only took a couple minutes. It was 2 screws, 4 clips, and this came out. If you use this thing year-round, you're probably going to want to take this apart. It'll probably build up with dust every year or so. Cleaning out the dust periodically would be a good idea. And then let's go ahead and put this back on. There's an indentation here at the top, and there's an indentation right here, and that just lines up. And it all just snaps back together. Now I've got to put those 2 screws back in. So yeah, the fan comes with a 5-year warranty, and I think that if you take this apart periodically and clean it out, that will help avoid any issues. So there you have it. Overall, I'm very impressed with the Woozoo Globe fan. For a new product of its size, this fan moves more air than any other I've owned. It's really impressive how well it works considering how compact the unit is. I also like all the control options, and I think this fan would prove suitable for a lot of environments. It's also very quiet, and even on its loudest setting, the noise it makes isn't ugly. The Woozoo comes with a generous 5-year warranty, and the build quality seems solid. As far as drawbacks, I only have 2 issues. To help prevent losing it, I would prefer if the remote had a place to store on the fan when not in use. The other thing is that I don't think the LED lights on the base of the fan turn off, which means if you're running the fan in the dark room, they'll still be emitting a little light, which is a pet peeve of mine. I reached out to Iris to see if they did turn off, or if they can be turned off, but as of posting this video, I didn't get a response. I could be wrong about this, but I figured I'd mention it. Those are small issues. I think this product is both an excellent value and an excellent compact fan. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.